Hey y'all, Timmy's in the V, Laced in Space, Constellations on LSD. Thanks for tuning in. You could have been anywhere else. You decided to be here with me. So I always want to show gratitude. I always want to show appreciation. I always want to let you guys know that I'm so grateful that you're rocking out here with me. So thank you. Thank you for the sessions. Thank you for the confirmations. Thank you for the comments. Thank you for the support. Thank you. Always want to give that gratitude because this has changed my life. And it's through you guys and through the support I get. So thank you. So understanding how you meet others. That's what I want to talk about today. And we're going to look at it through your rising sign. So this is going to be very important that you know your time, date, and location of birth, because that will generate a rising sign for you, your ascendant. And your ascendant is so important in understanding how you meet others because it's your first impression. It's what people assume you are before they get to know you based on your personal planets. So you're going to generate a chart and you're going to put your time, date, and location. And you're going to see where the sun and moon was aspecting based on the time, based on your birth, the time, date, and location. Because they're the fastest moving energy. The moon is the moon aligning with the rising, because they both move within a 2-hour point. Whereas the sun is going to need a day. This is why it's going to be so, this is why it's so important, when you come into, just those themes of when you come into a room where your emotions are and how sensitive you are because they're aligning. And the sun could be something that is completely foreign until you get older. So the rising sign is so important in knowing how you come into the room. And does that make you feel emotionally safe, inferior, superior? Because that's going to be what helps you understand how you meet others. It was so important about, this, looking at your rising sign right now is when I say what's so important, what's a great point to look at right now, if as an astrologer, and just with the transits, right? Chiron is in Aries, the energy that rules the first house, that's associated with the first house. Saturn is now in Aries, the energy that connects to the first house. Neptune is in Aries, an energy that aligns with the first house. Since the first house, the ascendant, is associated with Aries energy. So right now, and since 2018, just the pinnacle of it, the start of it, right? We've been trying to figure out who we are and where we're going, and by all means necessary, to the point where have we become Aries? Guarded, certain ways, defensive, impatient with others. And I want to look at it that way because Saturn and Chiron means this is something we need to work on based on its lower leveled energy. Since Saturn and Chiron is you need to fix yourself. Chiron is the wounded healer. Saturn is the energy of needing discipline. So just with the transits being in Aries energy, a lot of them, and Aries energy being associated with the first house, looking at your ascendant right now, if you don't look at anything else in astrology, is just important. And seeing where you meet people, where you even meet the world in the middle. Now the rising, the ascendant opposes the descendant, the 7th house. So the first house is how you come into the room. The 7th house is who you attract from coming into who you attract who come into the room. It's also letting you know where you operate in duality, what you will attract yourself, what you feel you need to balance out your rising energy, how you come off. So your rising sign is so important in that. Now when you're looking at your ascendant, does it contradict your other placements? So you got to look at that as well, because that could be even why a lot of people feel like they are, am I something wrong with me? Why can't I get along with people? Because the way you're coming off is going against how you feel, internally. It's different. It doesn't flow. And you may find that people who have better connections with others usually have an energy that has some sort of flowage with their rising and their other placements. Because they're able to connect with how they come off and meet the right people. the right communities. So that's going to be another thing. If your big three, especially, doesn't have at least some sort of trine, sextile, something that gives like a beautiful connection between them, like a nice one, trine, sextile, you may find that a lot of how you come off is even like painful to who you really are. It's like, why am I coming off this way? This is not how I'm trying to come off. And it would be great for you to learn these placements, especially if you don't know them, to see if it's like how do I fix this me thing, so it could go back to a we thing. Because we really need, like, we need each other. Saturn is exalted in Libra, so we need each other. It's not, like, in this lifetime, especially as I get older, it's not what you know, it's who you know. It's who you've touched. It's who you've held and been there for, and I'm just joking, been there for and connect with and have this rapport with, that you realize can be priceless, indispensable, like when it comes to actually like liquid money. Because money comes, money goes, but people don't. So you gotta really love on your people and let them know that they matter to you. And with Saturn being in Libra, being exalted in Libra, showing the themes of we have to be conscious of other, like if we're going to be a society, we have to be conscious of our neighbors. We have to learn how to play nice, even if we don't want to sometimes. Now, don't do it like to your own detriment, but Libra's not even going to do it at your own detriment, because Libra's like, I don't put myself in a position for people to disrespect me. So why am I going to even bring that opposition? Of course, there could be a hater, and it usually comes in like career areas for you, Libra. But just in general, just success. That's what people are. People are in competition with each other. But Libras like still know how to mind your manners, because we're in a group of people. We're not in this world alone, and we don't want to be alone. So have your manners, right? So we need each other. We need to learn how to work with people. And with Uranus coming into Gemini, July 7th, right? So with Uranus coming into Gemini, we're an air sign. We're going to be like, hey, we have to work on at least having a better sense of communication with others, going to areas where we want to be around like-minded energy. Like, why are we going into areas where we don't know, we're not mentally connected with these people, and we're looking for them to love us? Like, let's go to places where actually mentally there's a connection, there's an understanding, so we can at least have a better start. And it's going to come from a lot of knowing yourself, challenging yourself to go back out there. So we have a few transits that's letting us know that even within this time, why that's important. Now, if your rising sign, does it contradict other placements in your chart? You're going to look at that. What kind of relationship does it have with your sun and your moon? Are you aware of how it comes off? Important. Do you know that there's a challenge between your sun and your rising, your moon and your rising, or your other placements, Mercury, Venus, Mars, and your rising, and where in these environments there's an uncomfortability, and you're like, I'm not really understanding how I'm coming off, or how I'm coming off is not the best for me, like internally, like emotionally, for my nervous system, for my longevity. So understand that as well. And why would you even have that, right? You would have that because your parents couldn't really get along, or they couldn't get along with the structure, with what needed, with the structure of the relationship. And I want to just put more base into that. Your rising is how your parents came together and celebrated you. So look at it like that, to see where when your parents come together, especially socially, and what they could be known for, and even their initial meetings, in that energy. Is it fixed? Is it mutable? Is it cardinal? Is it air? Is it fire? Is it water? Is it earth? You're rising, and that could let you know. Now, when the sun goes against it, that means dad can get jiggy with like what they needed to make this work, especially on a social level, especially in like how to make it work in society, right? The mom feels this way, moon. And if parents have connection to, let's say dad has more connection to the moon and mom has more connection to the sun, look at it that way. But there's a theme where when it came for us to come together and walk side by side and represent this conception that we've had, this child that we had, did the sun and moon align to do that? And because of that, you will feel split. You'll feel like your moon is in a whole nother space than your rising, than how you come off. They don't get each other. So every time you meet someone, there's a theme that aspects your nervous system, your emotional well-being, your comfortability. That's like warning, it's not working, but you're attracting certain types of people that's not connecting with you emotionally, and where you need to find that balance between that, or how you identify. So you may have a rising sign that may have attracted certain people in your life that doesn't really align with your highest self, your sun. And whereas you get older, you start to see that you're not even, like, you don't talk to certain people because they don't align. You don't connect with these certain people because they don't really align with your sense of highest self, your sun and your rising. And knowing that, I'm a Leo rising. My sun is in Scorpio. My moon is in Taurus. My sun and moon understands each other, but my rising does not understand my sun and moon. So this Leo rising with Scorpio, oh my goodness, sometimes I'm like, should I go hide? What am I doing? And that's why on my page I have like this whole Scorpio vibe going on, and I need to understand that. And now I just tell people this, like I'll be like especially when I go out, right? I'll be like, are you loving me right now? You loving me right now? I know you loving me right now, but I got a man, I got kids. I'm not home a lot, I'm not really outside like that. So right now, let's have a good time for tonight. Let's have a good time for tonight. So that's me. Because I know that my Leo rising is going to attract people that is not always going to understand my highest self, my Scorpio energy. So just understanding that connection there, right? Now, with knowing your rising sign, so it's going to be one of the 12 signs, you're going to find the ruler of that sign. So the ruler of your sign is now how you express it. So example, I'm a Leo rising. I'm going to look at the sun. Where's my sun? What sign is it in? Does it like being there? Does it like the house that it's in? And this is how I express it even further, more in depth. This is what even gets the energy going. So sun energy, Scorpio for me. So since it's in Scorpio, it's a square, not really understanding each other, right? So I find that every time I interact with people, like even at a party, a club, whatever, it doesn't matter, I could just be doing something that's like I think is the best time of my life. Someone will come up to me and do some sort of like platonic things, and I know it's because of the way I dance. It's because I know it's because of those things as well, because I am very sensual. But they'll like do some sort of like trauma dump. We'll get like I've been in clubs where I'm having conversations that are so freaking like, bruh, like should I pull out your natal chart? Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like there's just intensity. Also other platonic things. So I've also experienced some very like other platonic things as well. And it's not like I want to express it, but it's not about me right now. It's about reading this chart, right? So, so yes, knowing that connection. All right, see how it aspects each other. Like other platonic. I'll say because of the Leo rising and the Scorpio energy, I've found that sometimes I am celebrated in areas that have a lot of like lower leveled energy, and that's just been one of those things in life where it's like how do you sell, like what am I really promoting, does it make sense what I'm promoting, does it connect? So I'm just always just wondering, that's just one of those things I'm always questioning. Like, how do we make something that's about finding traumatic healing, like finding all the traumas and unpacking and being so like deep in it, right? In a Leo way. How does that make sense? Something so sacred and something that's not sacred, something that's seen, right? So it's just always those things, and I just have to work with it. I just have to know that I'm a Leo and a Scorpio, and that's what's going to come into it. The same thing is like when I'm in these clubs, it's like I'm in this Leo area where I'm having a good time, but because I'm so platonic, I get put into some situations where it's just a lot of energy, and a lot of energy that can be a little lower level, you know, like heavy in many different ways. So I just wanted to put into that. So for you out there, in the collective, for you out there, what is your rising sign? So if you're like, let's start from the top. If you're an Aries rising, you're going to look towards Mars. If you're a Taurus rising, you're going to look towards Venus. If you're a Gemini rising, you're going to look your Mercury. If you're a Cancer rising, you're going to look at Moon. If you're a Leo rising, you're going to look at Sun. If you're a Virgo rising, you're going to look at Mercury. If you're a Libra rising, you're going to look at Venus. If you're a Scorpio rising, you're going to look at Mars and Pluto, both. If you're a Sagittarius rising, you're going to look at Jupiter. If you are a Capricorn rising, you're going to look at Saturn. If you are an Aquarius rising, you're going to look at Saturn and Uranus, both. If you are Pisces rising, you're going to look at Jupiter and Neptune, both. That's why I just have these types of risings. You're a big dog, big energy. We're going to talk about that, how you're a very intimidating energy. Aquarius, and Pisces. Capricorn too. Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces. Big dog energy. Just from being on the older end, but I'm gonna add Scorpio in there too because it's a double Mars and Pluto. So from Scorpio to Pisces, right here, Scorpio to Pisces, you're a big dog energy. Like you have like double planets that can rule you, be associated with you, and even generational planets. So we're already with having this type of rising. You are already know you have like a prominent overseer, an ancestor, matriarch type of energy in the family, or you do something very grand where it's you even feel parentified with these types of risings. So finding the ruler of your rising and seeing if what house it's in, what sign it's in, does it like being in the house, the sign, and also how that sign house aspects your rising. Because now this shows that you need it, if it's not in a good connection, you need to understand like you're not working well with it, so you need to go into depth with this rising. So another place in this where it's just showing, I don't really know how I'm coming off. Now, on your rising, there's like, you could also have planets on your rising. So if you have planets on your rising and on your descendant, your 7th house, your 6th, 7th house, because your rising could be from your 12th to 1st house. It could sit in those houses. Where are you wearing things on your sleeve? Where do you feel like automatically this is something that people could see that you're wearing on your sleeve, especially if you have planets on your rising? See if those planets are compatible. And also, Aries doesn't want to share their house. So who would want to, and Aries don't want to show their hand. Aries already feels like when they walk in, 1st house already feels like Aries energy. It already feels like when they walk into the room, they already have to have certain spaces where it's like, yo, don't try me. Yo, relax. Back, like there's a protective energy. So if you have planets in your 1st house, that means that you are wearing a weakness on your sleeve, and people are going to start to see this quickly. Going to see this about you. So do you have any planets or asteroids on your rising? One that's going to be uncomfortable, having Moon on your rising, people see that you wear your emotions on your sleeve. One's going to be with your Venus energy. Venus energy is in the opposing house. So with having Venus on your rising, there is a theme where you can show your resource issues, indulgences. People can see that you have a neediness, a gluttoniness. I have to have this. So people can even use that to get things out of you. So those have Venus on the rising. Like they can use to coerce you, things like that, give you certain things for a certain type of control. So be careful with that. Having Chiron on your rising. That's an asteroid sign. Chiron rising is so tough because you feel like you have like some sort of like blemish or some sort of like physical crutch, something where, and if it's in like mutable, maybe it's more of a mental thing in how you communicate, or just those themes on how you like find that relatability through your words. So if it's immutable and you have it in your first house, so if you have a mutable rising, Chiron immutable, so that's going to be one that's mental. But just with having Chiron in the first house, people see that there's something about you physically that you find as an insecurity, or they would think like, oh, that's their insecurity. I see something that's insecure about them. And this is a place where having Chiron on your rising, and even just having planets on your rising, where you can even have some things going on with body dysphoria. So see how just having that on your rising can show a struggle with you wanting to meet people. Like, I can't relate to people. I have this issue here. And just being aware of it, see how fixing that can bring more relatability for you. So those themes. I'm a Chiron in the first house. Yeah. So it's one of those things for me. I'm going to look at the energy where it has more of the intimidating and intimidating signs. So from Scorpio to Pisces, your energy is going to come off intimidating because you are later in the chart. You are older, so these can come off like more as a authoritative energy to others. Scorpio has malefics, says Pluto. So Scorpio can be a very intimidating energy. Sagittarius has Jupiter, so it can be a very larger than life energy, especially in how it communicates. So there could be a strong way of how it communicates, and where it has its sense of like ideals, beliefs that can be very different and even intimidating to others. Capricorn has Saturnian energy, so these can be just naturally disciplinaries. And from Sagittarius to Piscean, there could be like height or certain builds with these people that can come off intimidating. Aquarius is going to be an energy that can come off socially, behaviorally different from others, which can cause intimidation or just not knowing how to really integrate into social norms. And it may not just be, it won't have to just be them. It could be where they come from, and that could be a theme as well with having Capricorn and Aquarius, where it may be from the background, the family you come from, and that can ostracize you. Piscean, you're going to have Neptune and Jupiter. So these are placements that can be like very larger than life to people, and they also can't see it well. So having a Pisces rising can make you come off like always projected on and not seen as clearly. And just even having Pisces energy in general, where you can feel like you are really misunderstood. Like there's just a wrong impression that's put on you. And that could definitely for Pisces, but can happen as well from Scorpio to Pisces. So just know that if you have these risings and you felt like there's just been some sort of like, there's always like been this wrong idea about me. Just knowing that can even help you understand how you've been finding your relatability. Now, again, everything is about knowing that you can work on it. You can find a way to get through it. So we're not going to use our placements to say that, oh, this is just what we are. This is just what's wrong with us and people just have to deal with it. No, that's what this Saturn and Aries, Chiron and Aries is trying to do. It's trying to let us understand that the world does not revolve around you. So message to just everyone out there, the world does not revolve around you. And I'm just a message to me. I'm a Mars energy. I have Mars aspects, and Vedic astrology, I'm an Aries moon, so I really have to really center myself. And I've started to live a life where the world doesn't revolve around you. Relax. Because that's what since 2018 we've been talking about. Us. Me. Gotta protect me, protect my peace, protect my boundaries. Cool. But Saturn is exalted in Libra. So where are we going to have to learn how to work with people, connect with people? We need people. So that's going to be the thing with this chart, with anything in astrology. I know myself enough to know if I want to deal with you. That's what this is about. To deal with anything. I know myself to know what if I want to deal with you and how I'm going to deal with you. Doesn't mean that I'm looking at what's wrong with you, because you're who you are too. I just know myself enough to know if I want to deal with this. And baby, I'm learning this every day. Every single day I'm learning this. And 10 years ago to where I'm at now is a complete different world. And I got to think this. It's going to come with work and awareness. So we're not falling into our placements as if like people just got to deal with it. No. We're coming into our placements so we understand ourselves enough to know how to deal with everything outside of ourselves. So Chiron being in Aries, this is a great energy for those who are consultants and the consultant world and the world where people are like, I need to figure out who I am while like looking for people to help them, right? Started 2018. So all the astrologers, the physical health therapists, all the services that have started to do that one-on-one and help people build through one-on-one, you are now at a 7-year point in your business and your space. Where do you want to take it to a whole nother level? Because this was a big time where people were trying to figure out who they are, and they were looking for people who specialize in who they are. At 7-year point. Where are you realizing that through you being your own specialist, that you need to figure out what kind of consultant you are and change that, upgrade that, professionalize that. The collective is going to need help. So we should be promoting collaborative energy, Uranus and Gemini, rather than fighting against each other. Saturn and Aries is already going to do the work of countries and religions and all types of stuff, especially governmental wise, political wise, are going to have their own battle of I ams. This is a transit for the masculine, and where they are leaders, the masculine, the patriarchy, the man's world that we live in, and where they need to redefine what it is to be I am, to the point what is the point of the collective, to the point of what is the point of humanity, and they just have to come into humanity. So this is what this energy wants us to work on, like that we're all human, and since we're all human, we should be a little bit more nicer to each other. So this Saturn and Aries, really big for just knowing how to stay an individual, but still understanding that we can be there for our neighbor. So this is a great step, is knowing you're rising, and seeing how you first walk into that room. And is it fair to already judge the room by not understanding you before you even understand yourself? Because this Uranus and Gemini energy is going to want us to connect. So always love, always gratitude. Thank you for allowing me to share this space with you. See you guys later.